Let's break it down. With any major breaking news, but particularly with tragedies such as mass shootings, what you generally see is all the major news outlets rushing to be the first to cover the event. This might seem, as they claim, to be all in favor of providing the public with fast information, but as we've seen recently, these practices can cause complications, and they've raised questions about the state of modern journalism. We'll get back into the details later, but the reason that all these questions are coming up in the Ithaca community is due to the recent death of Anthony Nazaire, an Ithaca College student who was stabbed on August 28th after attending a frat party on the Cornell University campus. Some people criticize national publications for reporting on this, accusing them that it was only a story because it happened on Cornell's campus. They say that if it had happened on the Ithaca College campus, not involving any Cornell students, it wouldn't have gained attention from national media. But more importantly, these national publications and some local ones are being criticized for even more personal, ethical issues. A week after the stabbing, Kelly Kyle and Elena Peach, reporters from Ithaca College's radio station, WICB, compiled an investigative piece regarding the ethical dilemmas journalists faced while reporting on the stabbing. Here's Kelly on the story they put together.
So with the Anthony Nazaire stabbing coverage, I had seen a lot from media outlets nationally and from New York City, and the coverage kind of caught my eye. I noticed that their coverage was very aggressive in a way, and the Daily News, New York Daily News specifically, had been knocking on people's doors in the circles, asking people where Anthony lived. Outlets had some pretty major decisions to make. To publish or not to publish when police have not released official information.
The heart of the story involved comparing the coverage strategies of local versus national outlets.
As a local outlet, their approach is measured by following the police reports, and if other outside information comes in, carefully vetting it before publishing.
And on national coverage, they interviewed Jeff Cohen, the founding director of the Park Center for Independent Media.
He says he doesn't believe the New York City outlet made the right ethical decision when it came to releasing the second victim's name.
You should cover crime not by sensationalizing it, but by going at root causes, possible fixes.
When I talked to Kelly, I asked her what connection she thought this specific story and its coverage had on a bigger scale. And she brought it exactly where I thought she would, to the journalism industry as a whole.
I feel like it comes down to motivations, and I feel like a lot of that is the whole, we need to get this story out here first because we want our readers to like us the best and to always turn to us, and more readers equals more ad revenue, and all of that whole media system comes into play.
We all know that there's a problem with journalism right now. With the proliferation of the internet and electronic devices, anybody can report on anything, and eye-catching stories receive more attention than informative ones. Adding to this, most people know that a lot of television news stations are failing to report fairly, but the average American media consumer doesn't consider the economic factors behind why fair, in-depth journalism is generally harder to find now. John Oliver said it best in his Last Week Tonight segment about journalism this past August.
The media is a food chain which would fall apart without local newspapers. And the problem is, print ads are less popular with advertisers than they used to be.
Although some journalists might have a goal of ethical, in-depth reporting in mind, the dramatic shift on the business side of journalism has made this kind of reporting hard. And as Kelly told me, the goal would be for national outlets to report on the systemic causes of these deaths, to not care about getting views, and instead to investigate possible fixes, as Cohen says. But how can we make this possible in the current economic state of journalism? That we can't answer in a 3-minute video.